Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast. Let's make sure we've got this set where you can see properly. I'm not sure what properly is, but I think that'll work. Welcome, everyone. First of all, I would like to say I, I don't want to say happy Memorial Day because the memories aren't always happy ones, but on this Memorial Day, we are thanking those who fought in the service for us. Those some gave their all for us here in the United States. Others gave some, even if you just enlisted. I mean, I was just on a military base just yesterday, and there are some that are newly enlisted and just starting their walk into that journey in their life. And we are grateful for your gift, and we do not take it lightly. So, thank you for your service. Okay, you guys, we are going to paint tonight. I'm going to see if I can make this, maybe that'll work. It won't work because it's in the way. But oh well, we'll see what we can do with that. Whoops. And I think this probably won't work well either, but we're going to give it our best shot. Okay, because I know I'm going to have to pick this up and move it around. I know I am, but we're going to see what we can do with this. Okay, from the very outset, beginners, if this is the very first thing you've ever painted, you are starting in a good place. If you have joined at the very beginning of our series, this is number 7, by the way. If you joined at the very beginning, you are developing some skills. You have learned brush control, water control, paint control, and I'm not saying you've mastered it. I am saying that you have started your skill set. Okay, now I've got to get this thing off of there so I can see this properly. I would also say that if this is your very first project that you're working with us, you have joined at a good time, because we're going to take this step by step and kind of on the slower side. I've got to shut some of this light off because I've got too much interference here. And that's not good either. That's just horrible. I don't know what to do with this. Got horrible shadows. Well, I don't know. We'll just do the best we can. How about that? I'll see if I can paint in the dark. It's cloudy and rainy. It's been raining here all day. And I don't know. The lighting in here is horrible. I'm going to have to get a floor lamp or a clamp lamp. A lamp that clamps. That's a lot of too many syllables there for me. But a light that I can clamp where I need it. That's what I should do. Okay, I'm going to get a bigger brush. I want something that I can put some water down with. Okay, and that other one just rolled under my project board. Ha, found you. Okay, I have some brushes that aren't round that are really nice, but they won't do this job. So, all right, I am going to apply water. Be careful where you're applying water, okay? Because remember that the watercolor will follow the water. And if you get that water in a place you don't want it, your paint doesn't know you don't want it there. Your brain does, but your paint doesn't. And it'll just follow it. And you don't want it to necessarily go where you don't want it. Okay, so I've got my water on here. Wake up your paints. We're going to get ready to do this. And you're going to be working tonight with first color we're going to use is a very, very light green. I'm going to use sap green because it's already yellow. If you don't have that color, mix a green that is a very yellow green. All right, and I'm going to paint that right here and right here. Now, will that likely go places I don't want? It might, because I put the water here too. So I'm just going to keep that wiped out of that area. There we go. and I'm going to use yellow. At this point, I think I'm going to use lemon yellow, or maybe I'll use cad yellow. Cadmium yellow is a little bit more orange yellow. Lemon yellow is a bright yellow. I'm going to put my yellow here, and I'm going to put it here, right there, and there. And this is going to underpaint the area that we want to keep light, all right, or to pop forward. Okay, now some of that will go away. I'll just tell you that. All right, and then we're going to use our cadmium red deep. It's a nice rich red, and we're going to come back in here, and we're going to stroke this in like so. We do not want a lumpy edge out here, but it doesn't have to be perfectly flat either. You know, perfect skins on an apple look pretty, but the best tasting apples are the ones we want. Just saying. Hello, Sharon. How are you? Yay. Otherwise, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Just saying. Okay, so we're going to come in here, and we're going to stroke this in back here. Okay, now you notice that I'm bringing this in this type of a direction. Okay, it's going to come here, 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 like that. Straightens up around here, comes around on this other side, and does the same thing going the other way. Now, why would that matter? It's because it's following the contour, the growth pattern of that apple. It's going to go down in there like that. Now, sometimes this green will show up, other times it does not. Sometimes on the apples it's red all the way down in there. If you want one that is red all the way down in there, you need to put a dark red in there. Okay, I'm going to flip this like so, because I need to get in here. All right, there. Because I don't want white spaces. I want that red to just almost meet that green. The green doesn't even show up. It needs to show up some. It doesn't need to be the most brilliant thing on here, but it needs to show up some anyway. There we go. You know those yummy apples, some of them are just, they have that green cast in the center. Like I said, others don't though, and you don't even have to do that part if you don't want to. You don't want to mix that red and green, or you're going to have brown in the center, and that will look wholly and totally unappetizing. Just saying. All right, so now as we come here, it's going to turn around this apple. See, like that? And it's going to follow that contour. And that's wonderful. You want it to do that because that's exactly where we're headed, right there. Right there. And then it's going to go here, like that. And then by the time you're at the front of that smile, you're going to be going this way. And it's going to just naturally become what you need for it to be right there. Okay, now we're going to do this edge, and I want you to pay attention to this if you would. Now, Sharon, I know you already know this, but some of you newbies that this is your first project, you may not know this. You want to always be able to see your line that you're painting against, because you're painting an area and you're wanting your paintbrush on the apple side, not on the empty space side. And you're painting lightly to begin with. And it's okay for this to be streaky. Actually, in this particular circumstance, streaks are welcome. we want them. Okay, so jump in there, and it's easier to pull a line than to push one. All right, it's easier to pull a line down like that than to push a line. Your paintbrush just naturally likes it better. Why? I don't know. It just does. Defies gravity? No, I don't think that's it. It's just something about the brush, the position of it. I don't know, something. Haven't really stopped to analyze it. It just doesn't like being pushed. I mean, do any of us like being pushed around? No, we don't. All right. Now, there you go. Now, if you're paying attention, and you need to be paying attention to those edges, because a fuzzy peach is welcome, a fuzzy apple is not. I know it's unfair, but it is true. Okay? A fuzzy peach is welcome, a fuzzy apple is not. And so you want clean edges on these apples. Just like this. All right, so we're getting that first light coat, just like that. And we're going to begin streaky, streaky, streaky as we build our layers. We're glistening across there, and we're coming up here, and we're wanting in that wet paint. And it's okay to get it streaky. We want it streaky, but we also want that paint to be wet. Now, while we want that area to be light, we can cover that yellow to create an orange, but hello, Rosebud. We don't want to eliminate it entirely. It can go orange, but not disappear. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to come up here, here, and around, and around, and around, and around. All right, now, how much of this do we do? Well, how good do you want your apple to look? Okay, you want it to look like something you want to eat. Okay, we're going to pull this, pull, 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 because we know it likes to be pulled better than pushed. We know that. There we go. There, 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 and there. We're going to turn it upside down and go the other way. Pull, pull, pull. Just like that, that. And this is wet enough at this point that it's not going to accept much more color without sitting here and drying for a few minutes. So I'm going to come back into this area. And I don't know, that green just doesn't seem to want to stay there. So maybe this isn't the place where we want to have it. I don't know. It's there, so I'm going to leave it there. But it just doesn't want to show up nicely tonight. I don't know why. We're going to get that wet right there. Take that color out. Put it back in and see if I can make it sit there. Okay, I'm bringing some new color over here. Maybe it just needs to be a little bit more intense color. I don't know. Right there. Right there. Pat, pat, pat. And I do not want to mix this green and this red. You don't mix them. They need to sit side by side, not mixed. Okay, I'm going to pick up more red. I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to drag this here, here, and see how those streaks are just coming across, and they're showing the contour of that apple. Now, are you going to leave it just like that? Well, no, not exactly. You're going to do more of it. You're going to do more to where that back area then turns red, and it just sits nicely into that green, just like that. Just like that. Oh, that's beginning to shape up very nicely. Just like that. Just like that, right there. Yes. Okay, I'm going to come around here now. There. Around there. Coming from that smile. Around there. And you don't want to hook this into the middle of your apple. And what I mean by that is this. If you come this way like that, you don't want that to end there. That doesn't go there. You want it to come clear down the front face of that apple, just like that. Now, as I said, that front area is still very wet from having worked it in the first place. And it's not going to take much more color without letting it dry first. I put one of those little travel hair dryers on my wish list so that I can go back and pick one of those up before long, because I want a small one that will not take up too much room back here in my area. See this that's right here in the front? I don't want green there in the front right here. Can't be green. It can be yellow, but it can't be green. So we'll put yellow here. We'll bring it down here. Just like that. Reinforce that again. Just let that sit. Don't get all frustrated with it. And we're going to bring the red up. Pulling that color into that yellow. Just like that. And if it turns yellow, it turns orange, that's fine. Orange is fine. Because it becomes red-orange, and red-orange in an apple is welcome. Orange in an apple is welcome. Brown in an apple is not. Okay, we're getting there. I'm going to pick up some more of my red color here. Put it out on my palette working area. And it's going to be heavily concentrated. I'm warning you now. See how that is? Because it's fresh out of the palette. There we go. Right there. Right there. Okay. And at some point, it will start saying red instead of faded. Okay. And you want to say hello red because you want that there. Okay. We're going to come up here. Now, one of my students said, mine's not streaky. That's okay. Not all apples are streaky. Some are not. And it's okay if your streaks don't stay. But if they do, enjoy them. They're fine. I'm going to flip that over because I want to pull this from this bottom area right there up here, up here, up here, and you just keep streaking that in. Now, this is building color at the same time that you are practicing letting off that color, getting the right mix in your brush. You want to be paying attention to all those things. The right amount of water, the right amount of color, and stay up on your tip top of your brush. Just like that. That will give you nice lines there. Don't lose your yellow. We're going to come in here like so. See how that blends right in immediately? It's because this paper is wet. I am working on Arches 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. Anytime you're working on watercolor, you want to be working on watercolor paper. It doesn't always have to be Arches, but it does need to be watercolor paper. Other papers just don't stand up to the amount of water that watercolor needs. I'm going to blend that right there because it looks dry right there. There we go. I like that. All right, I want this area right here to be a little more red. So I'm going to try one more time, and I think it's going to, it might do it. And I'll play in it right there, right there, right there. Okay, now, yes, right there. I like that. While we are waiting on that to do its thing, we're going to pick up some, I'm going to put that down for just a minute. And we're going to pick up some alizarin crimson, put it out on the working area of our palette. And if you don't have a if you have a palette that does not have a working area, you can use a hefty plate. Just always keep your hefty plate though, because that paint that you put out there is going to be able to be reactivated with water. You don't want to throw away your paints, so keep them. All right, we're going to bring down here at this edge, especially on this side, some dark right there. And we're going to bring it up here. And our dark area is going to be right in here. See, there's our light. Our dark's going to be over here. Light's here, dark's there. It does not go clear to the edge, but it will blend up in here. It will blend there. It can come over here because this is at the bottom, and it can look weightier here at the bottom. And we'll blend it. And I've already run out of paint here, so I'm just going to come here with my damp brush and just blend right there a little bit, just right there. It's blending. I want to blend this in a little bit over here. Then I'm going to take my yellow, just a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to come back over here to this edge. Now, will it ever be yellow? No, because I've got too much red here, but it is going to turn orange. But I want some reflection right there, a reflected light. This is not sitting on a mirror, so it's not going to be like that kind of a reflection. It's just the light plays right there. Okay, I'm going to pick up some more of that alizarin and bring it back in here again. Streaky, streaky right there. And I think it's going to need another time, but I've got to wait for that to dry for just a minute. Do your thing, do your thing, do your thing, and it's not going to. You can scream at it. It won't help. It will not help. It is hard to control all of those things and to think about them all at the same time. I mean, it can be. It's a job, but before long, you won't have to think about them. They'll become second nature. And the more you do them, the more natural they will feel to you. See, now this back in here is dry enough now that I can bring that red in right here and it'll stay where I put it. Just right there. And I'm telling you, I would buy this apple. I would. If I had a teacher gift to give, I would give it because this is making me happy right here. And it's okay right here at this edge if that, where it converts into that green, turns a little to the brown side, because it does in nature as well. It just, you don't want all that to be brown down in there though. You don't want that. Okay, are we? I don't think we are, but we're going to try it. If you've got a hair dryer, you can dry this. Excellent, right there. That's what I want right there. Okay, now I don't know. Does that? Yeah, I think you can see it. If it was in the right light, you could see it better, but I think you can. Okay, then we have our little stem up here, and our little stem is brown. If you take a little bit of your red and a little bit of your green and put them together, you will come up with a brown that will work with the colors that you've already got in your picture. They'll by nature be not matchy, but what do you call it? They would coordinate well. Okay, so I'm going to bring my color here, down this side of the stem, tuck it right in there. I'm going to come up the other side of the stem, just like that, around here, there. And then I'm going to use a damp brush to bring that color up. Just like that. Just like that. Now, don't get all frustrated with your stem. It's a stem. It's not a masterpiece unto itself. It's just there. Okay? Just like that. Right there. Just like that. And I want some of my green again, just the green. You may not need to do this, but I do. Right here needs to be green. Right here needs to be green. There. There, there. There. There we go. That is what I want. Okay, now you can see where I stuck my finger in it right here. Isn't that lovely? But it doesn't matter because we're going to do background, not on the whole thing. I don't want to be up here where my stem is and all that stuff. Unless you just need to put a background in up there, I would like for you not. But we are going to introduce background here. All right, and what I want you to do is 100% stay out of your apple. That is a given. All right, when we do a for real background, a for real one, we're going to do the background first and then paint onto that. But this, we want to ground this apple. Not like ground, like we're going to grind it up, but we want it to sit down onto something because they don't fly. They don't, they will float in like bobbing for apples kind of way, but floating around in the air, no, they do not. I'm going to get that all wet there. I should have used a bigger brush to do this, but I didn't, so whatever. Stay out of your apple. Now, that being said, you don't want a halo around your apple, so you don't, there is a fine line there that you walk like a tightrope, and it's better to err on the side of not touching that than it is touching it and then having to deal with it. So if you get a halo around that, I'll show you what I mean in a minute, then it's easier to deal with it after it's already dry. Okay, I'm going to use a green. I'm going to use my sap green here, and I'm going to put a little bit of something else into it. I don't think I want it to be totally sap green. I want it to be a little bit on the bluer side. I got something sitting here on my palette I'm going to use up. I don't know what it is, but all right. And all this is wet, so I'm going to put this in here first because I can handle it being here, yellow first. And I'm not being cautious about it being there. And I'm not trying to get it all straight, like even toned. If you want this to be a tablecloth, maybe you want an even tone. I don't care about what it is. I just want it sitting on something. Okay, so what that is, and I'm not enjoying this sap green being there. I just am not enjoying it. But okay, we've got it, so we'll live with it. Now that's the color I wanted right there. Oh well, moving on. All right, see, and what I mean by a halo around your apple is that I don't get right up on that apple, because that red and that green will make a brown and it'll ruin my apple, and I don't want it there. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to get as close as I can to that. And I'm not going to be playing in this at all. And I'm not really worried about any of it. Okay, I'm going to pick up a different green off my brush. Off my palette. I'm going to use a Hooker's Green Light, and I'm going to bring it right down in here. It's a bluer green. And I'm coming as close to that apple as I can get. I'm not taking it everywhere. Just getting as close as I can get. There. And working on eliminating that little halo that is around that. You can use whatever, if you used orange or blue or whatever, whatever you used, you can do that. You want to come as close to that as you can. Now, if you get that halo and you don't see it until after it's totally dry, that's fine. You can still go back in and fix it, because you just take a little bit of your color and you're going to sneak up to it and stroke right there. Right there. It touches it, but not enough to get it wet. Not enough to get that apple wet. It touched the apple, but didn't get the apple wet. You don't want the apple wet, because then it'll run. Okay. So now I've got yellow patches and blue-green patches, and I've got something up there, but I'm not going to worry about that, because that's just not going to bother me at all. All right, so there we have that. I think that my poor lighting, it's making it seem like I've got splotches up here where I don't really want any splotches, but I don't believe in reality that they're really and truly there. I don't see them there in person, but we will deal with them because the light on the camera says we should. So we will. Right here. And you adjust it. Just don't. You're better off letting this dry and then come back in and adjusting colors, or you'll get a bloom in your paint color that then is incredibly hard to deal with. So you don't want this to be super wet paint that you're touching at this point. It would be a mistake. But what I've got that I'm putting on here is very much like what's already there. So I'm going to blend this into that dark area just a little bit. Touching, that's it. And I think I am fairly happy with this. I'm going to blend just a little bit right here. I saw somebody said something on a YouTube video, or maybe it was a Facebook thing, I don't know. Said, don't you just love it when an artist says just one more detail and then 57 steps later they finally quit? It's not quite as bad as that, but it's, you're just constantly weighing your options. It's like, do I want more? No, I don't. Yes, I do. Just like that. And it's okay with me if I have streaks here. I don't want to get it too dark. Right in here. There we go. Am I going to like this? I think I am. I'm going to leave it alone. I like it. See, now I said that, and then I'm coming back in with more paint. What am I doing? Just like that. There. That's what I want. Right there. That's what I want. I'm going to put my brush down before I'm tempted to touch it one more time. Because you can touch it one more time and you go, oh man, I wish I hadn't done that. And that's typical of something I would do. That just is. So, okay, so we've got, I want to do a little bit more brown on that stem right down in here. There, I'm happier with that. It's just a little thing, but it's just a little thing. Okay, now, if I sign mine with pen, and I will always want this to dry before I sign it, so I probably will not sign it till tomorrow. I do want to show you here on another one that I taught earlier, when I'm talking about that halo. See right here, can you even see it? Right here, there is a little gap between my green and my apple. And how you fix that is this. You have a damp brush, not a wet brush, a damp brush. You're not carrying water in it. It's just damp enough to move color. And you're just going to scrub that green right up next to that apple without ever touching that apple. And right over here, it is the same color as this background. Good luck with that. Just saying. All right, now, in the earlier class, we had somebody that got out of lines with their apple up here, so we put a background in up here. If you're going to do that, do yourself a favor and don't put your stem on first, or wait until the whole thing's dry before you do it. Okay, that's important. And put colors, everything you've used, into your background, except for maybe the green. You want to put that in down here. I've got my reds, my alizarin blue, and because red and blue make purple, we've got purple in here. Everything's in here, and so it brings it all together. So don't go getting, it's like, well, I think I want this to be yellow ochre. If you've not used yellow ochre in your painting, don't use it out here either. You want that to be cohesive. Is cohesive a good word? I think it is. Yes, and honestly, that gap is gone. Now there is a color shift here. I will say that. But you can always come back in here and bring it out like so. Like that. Just keep shifting. Just don't ever get this wet again, because you'll be sorry. You will be. I'm promising you. You'll have a mess, and you don't want your apple running all over, because like I said, fuzzy apples aren't good. Fuzzy peaches are. Fuzzy apples are not. Okay, so nice, crisp, clean lines on the apple. So we've got apple, and if that gnat doesn't go away and quit bothering me, I might go berserk on that bug right here. I mean, I'm not a terrorizing person, however. I got him. Okay, sorry. I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I'm not a murderous person at all. I just don't like gnats. They fly right in your face. Evidently, that is a thing down here in South Carolina. They have gnats. You don't have to have bananas or apples. Maybe it's like my apples, but they were here before, so that's not it. They just are everywhere. They're here, and it's raining, which means they're really here. And they just make me crazy. So, okay. Get over it, Marilyn. Get over it. I'm over it. So, all right. Apple. Okay, now I've painted this 3 times. And you can tell no 2 of them are alike. I've painted them the same way 3 times. But no 2 are alike. It's just the nature of life. the nature of life. It's the circle of life. No, that's a different thing altogether. So anyway, I'm going to put those up here. Don't sign it until it dries. You'll be sorry. You will be sorry. If you get a spot up there like that and it really bothers you, put some writing on there. I'm going to put apple pie, apple tarts, apple crisp, apple this, apple that. And this will go with an apple cookbook that I want to make. I've been wanting to make one for a long time. I've been collecting apple recipes for quite some time, and that's what this is going to become. The other two, I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. I do want to say too, when I did this one, I made it 1/4 of a sheet of my watercolor paper. The next 2 or 3 projects, maybe not the next one, because I decided the next project we're going to do, I'm doing a 5x7 because I already did a small one and I want a 5x7. Here's what we're going to do next time. It is going to be a birdhouse because this is taking a flat circle and creating dimension. We're going to take our square right here and we're going to create dimension. I don't have any of that, Rosebud. I don't have any. Maybe I could go borrow some next door or something. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But we're working on creating form with our color. Okay, so we've created the sphere on this. The cube will be on this. And then we're going to do one that I think you're going to find fun. If I can get it off here without causing an avalanche. I don't have the prototype finished yet, but we're going to paint a lighthouse. I've got to do the cliffs and the rocks yet, but we're going to create, this is your cone. Your cone, it's chopped off at the top, but it is a cone, and we're going to shade a cone. Now, sometimes your shading can be dramatic. It depends on how dramatic your lighting is, but we're learning how to use it to create form. Okay, light and value create form. And remember that light and value, when we're talking about value, we're not talking about the worth of the picture. We're talking about how light and dark. Yes, let it dry. Let it dry. Do not play with it. Matter of fact, put your brush down and breathe a little bit, because you're only going to hurt yourself if you try working it when it's too wet. It's just not going to work. And you're better off just letting it do its thing, and it's all right. But value is how light or dark something is. We're not talking about how bright something is. We're talking about how light it is. Now we can see on our apple that our light is coming from right here. It's hitting right here. It's coming from this way, right there. It's going to go hit there, right there. Now, technically, our dark could have been more over here, but we put it a little bit more over here. I don't really care about that. What's there works. It's not that dramatically dark, because if you get the darkness that you could have in here, this area would start to look rotten. And a rotten apple is not a happy apple. It's just not. And we want it to be a happy apple, so we're going to do that. And the more I think about adding the words into this, the more I like the idea. I think I'm going to play with that, maybe even some tomorrow. Okay, so do you have any questions or anything that you think I need to explain a little bit better? I want you to understand what you're doing so that you could do this again on your own if you needed to. Of course, you've got the video. You could play it again, but the whole point of this is not how many pictures of an apple does one person need. It's creating this concept again in a different setting. For instance, I don't have this dark enough yet. This is a work in progress. So this whole background thing needs to be a lot darker because there is a ball finial on top of this post. And then it's got the fence post going through it. And I do like it. I just don't have the background dark enough, but I was really afraid of getting into my wet colors. And so I thought, no, better stop. So I stopped on that. And so I've been playing with a lot of things. I've made some peaches because I thought, well, let's try this and see what happens. When you're working on peaches, it's okay to have fuzzy edges, but you want to have fuzzy everything on the peach. Anyway, it's fuzzy. So the light is not a strong light. It is a light, but it's not real strong. Now on the camera, it's not picking it up well, but this is all orange. It's not a different orange here. It's more of the same. It's just not picking it up well. This is the one I really like. And that light is a soft, diffused light. Okay, but ultimately we may do something like this, only it won't be that little, it'll be bigger. So this was my prototype of my birdhouse, and you don't have to pick browns. You can pick whatever colors you want. So you'd be thinking about that when you get ready to do this. And this was designed, it's not supposed to look all picky perfect. It's just a little like a kid made a birdhouse and stuck it on a post. That's what it's supposed to look like. So anyway, ta-da on that. Alrighty, so if you have an idea in your mind that you want to work on, like I have this burning need to paint a tarantula. Oh, please don't want a tarantula. But if you need one, I guess we could paint it. Apple cider vinegar. Okay, I could do that. I think I've got that. I've got dish soap. I could do that. Okay, I will try that. Thank you very much, Rosebud. Information 101, 202, 303, whatever rendition this is, you're full of information. We need that information. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, be sure and not answer. You're not expected to. I'm getting tired. Can you tell? You are not expected to answer your own questions. You can ask whatever you like, and I will do my best to answer it. Okay, if you are picking this up on a replay, I did not put my information in the description box on this video, but it's on most of them. So go there and look. It's emeraldlaneart@gmail.com. It will find me there. It's written on stuff everywhere. I think it's written underneath my name on my channel. I'm not exactly sure, but that you can reach me. There are ways that you can reach me. Yes, I really do like the lighthouse too. And if you want a 5x7 of that, it's up to you how large you make it. It's just know that you've got more territory to cover when you make it large. That's the big thing. Now, I know some of my students have number 8 brushes as their brush. That's this one. This is the one I put water down with. I don't paint large because I'm in a very small space. So painting small seems to be my thing. But it was my thing before I was in this small of a space. So I don't know. I do what I do. You do what you do. And I did get a commission to paint an 11 by 14 painting of a bridge. And I was really, really excited because we were on that street yesterday. And I said, well, maybe I'll get a chance to see this bridge. I saw the bridge all right because we were on it. I didn't get a good look at that bridge, but I did get a look at the lights that were on that bridge, and they're not as little as I thought they were. They're tall, and they still do work, and it's a beautiful, beautiful bridge. So I'll be working on that, and I told her not to get too excited about it coming, like in the next week or something, because I said, that is huge. And it's supposed to rain for 10 days. I'm going to have to be outside. I cannot move with something that large. It's just, I can't move around with it. And I just, no, I'm going to need to go outside to paint that. So maybe I'll go to a park and sit under a what do you call it? Shelter house or something. I don't know. I do have a canopy out there, but I noticed this morning when I was sitting out there that I still get wet. I'm thinking, okay, this is not functioning quite the way I thought it should, but it works. So, okay, well, I hope you guys have all had a good weekend. I got a surprise because my sister told me that she was sending me a package, and that it would arrive Friday about 7 o'clock. And I thought, well, that was odd, because, arriving by 7, most of the deliveries come during the day. And I thought, well, I guess they have to end up somewhere. Okay, fine. And so Don went down at about 20 till to see and to be down there when the package arrived. And he came in at 10 till 7. He goes, there was no package down there. And I said, well, it's not 7 yet. And in walked my sister and her daughter. They were my package. I was so excited, thinking, oh, that was great. So we had an excellent weekend, and we went to the Fort Jackson Army base, and because Brandy trained there, she went to AIT there, and that's where she met her husband. And so she was having, yes, they went home this morning, and I called just before I started my video, and she had just gotten home. So it's one real good day's drive for them. I wouldn't want Don to drive that long. Yeah, we don't go that far from home these days in one fell swoop. We'd have to stop somewhere. So, but yeah, they're home. She was missing her little ones. The next time she's bringing them. I'm thinking, oh my, how fun. So, but we're talking about having a family, like a get together somehow, somewhere for Christmas, or, something to where maybe we all met in the middle somewhere, or, we go there, I don't know, not exactly sure, but it was exciting. And I mean, because Emily hadn't seen her aunt in 20 years. And 15, 16, I don't know. It's 2010, so 26 years. Wow, is that right? That's wrong, isn't it? Sheesh, that's really bad. Anyway, it was a long time. So it was at my mom's funeral. That was the last time they saw one another. My goodness, that was a long time ago. Oh, goodness, that can't be right. I don't think I did my head math quite right there. I don't do math in my head at this time of day. It doesn't function right. So anyway, all right. So I'm no math magician. I'm going to quit now. So you guys, I am going to say make today a happy day. Only you can. Enjoy painting. If you're stressing while you're doing it, you're not doing it right. This is supposed to be enjoyment. Enjoyment. Let it dry. 16 years. Okay. All right. There you go. That sounds a whole lot better. That does sound a whole lot better. Yeah, because I've been a cancer survivor for that many years. Yes, that would be right. Thank you, Rosebud. Once again, your wealth of knowledge. See, you are the smart one here today. Yay. Yay. So there you go. All righty. So I'm going to say make today a happy day. Only you can. Your choices matter. Think nice thoughts. Yes, Marilyn. Are you listening? Yes, I am. I am listening. I'm going to think nice thoughts. I'm going to put on a movie and hopefully it'll be funny. Maybe I'll find a funny movie and that way I can just laugh my head off at something. You know, that sounds fun. I think that sounds good. So we will see you again next week. Let's see, next Monday, I have my final podiatry appointment for these stupid toenail things. Oh my goodness. You guys, those nerves are healing back and they're about to drive me insane. And I stubbed my toe twice today. That was not particularly happy, but you know, we move forward. So we'll go with that. So have a good night. We love you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing time with me. And I hope you learned something. And have a good week. Make it a good week. I love you guys. Bye-bye.